Mailbag preview show episode 293, joined by Rob, Pete, and Jack. We've gone around with no winners again, unfortunately. I don't know if you're trying to talk to us, Rob, but you're on mute if you are. Another placing for me. Pete, you were pretty unlucky, Brave Mead.
Yeah, just on the start and was never likely. They didn't quite find the right part of the track there in a lot of those races at Caulfield. You really had to be up and in for the most part. So, yeah, a bit disappointing.
Jack, you were kin. I think that placed as well, didn't it?
Oh,
Third?
yeah. I mean, Peter's there crying me a river.
Ken.
I took one at $8. I probably should have won. So thanks for bringing it up. I forgot about that.
Complete repeat offender, that horse.
And Rob, who are your three in the Oakley plate?
Look, 3 back markers that didn't figure at all. Probably should stick to my own backyard, but annoying because the winner was shout out Damo, his favourite horse in Adelaide, Cumin, this brave boy, and there he was, kicking on and knocking us off, and I didn't have a penny on, but
there's a few hypothetical fans in this group.
Yeah, it was a great day's racing there at Caulfield.
Narrative.
And
I've come on here last week and I've got no doubt I would have tipped into the Blue Dime winner at like 20s. I think Peter would have said the same sort of stuff. And you've opened the batting with reminding me of kin and then hypothetical.
Yes. Sorry about that. Well, I've run
little puppies.
From four tips this season. I run second 3 times and third the other. So I'm just trying to make you guys feel bad as well. All right, we'll get straight into the racing. Group 1 racing at Randwick and Flemington. We'll kick off with Randwick. The race 7, the Very Elegant Stakes, Rest in Peace, over a mile, weight for age. Rob, just before we started filming there, Fangirl, I know you're a fan of another one here, but does Fangirl probably just get the job done?
You'd think so. Braille True, I'm thinking that's going to be another Swoopers Day, running line, 3 wide line, especially later in the day. Seems to be the pattern there. So, I'd be wary of anything drawn low. But I'll wait till I hear from other people to confirm that. But that's just been the pattern there for a long time in the True. Fangirl, sets up well for her with the track pattern. She seems to come back better than ever. There's nothing else in the there's nearly a 10-year-old in Cascadian. Sheik needs the cash. And then we've got Think About It, rated 120. I don't think he's going to get to where he was. He's a rising 8-year-old, I think. I think the other Waller Buckaroo, which should have probably run second, well, to my chagrin anyway, the other week when we tipped the exacta. I think that'll run second. So a Fangirl, space, Buckaroo, space, do your best, the rest.
See Just Fine, the Waterhouse Bot ones come up with second favourite. Thought it was probably short enough for over a mile, did you?
Yeah, well, that B grade Euro looking thing goes very well, stepping up to weight for age here. I think it's certainly a progressive stayer, but that's faint praise if you ask me. Because our stayers are so rubbish. She's pretty good, but I think Buckaroo's better.
It ran some big figures there over, was it 2,000, 2,400 and 2,000 again, Pete, to those.
Look, these staying figures,
here we go.
Like wet track figures,
Here we go.
Grain of salt, please. More than.
Any other insights to data analysis and form stuff, Rob?
I think what I'm saying has some truth. You know it. Wet track. Oh, this.
No, you're actually right. I agree with you 100%. To be honest, but I just find it funny when you start to spruik like some type of point of view on form, and given you don't do it very much or any of it.
Oh, no, but
I think with that horse, you just want to be looking at its number over 1,600 meters for this race,
which is well below what Fangirl produced last start.
And I'm told, is it 38 degrees there today?
It's hot. Yeah, it's a bit cooler by the coast, but yeah, out west it would be all of that. I'd be saying. But yeah, it's going to cool down a bit tomorrow, and yeah, I think reasonably nice day on Saturday. So yeah, just I'm sure they'll be watering the track.
All right, Pete. Any opinion this race at all? Any comment?
No. I think we've spoken about Fangirl a few times, but she gives every indication she's back in. Well, she is in career best form.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be looking to better this race, but if she somehow failed, I'd be happy to follow her up going towards the grand final.
All right.
Yeah, she might be the best horse in the country.
Yeah, she certainly looked that way off her last one. Is there any, just having a look at that figure, she produced second up last prep over a mile at Randwick.
It was a barrier trail race from memory, wasn't it?
Couldn't win versus shape is what Jack's got.
Yeah. I remember it. I backed it at, full cannons loaded. Bad bet, obviously, but yeah, very talented. That's why she's always a risk, with her pattern, to take short odds about a horse that's, not at a peak, not at a grand final. Yeah, so, but in saying that, she should be too good here in a small field.
All right, cool. We'll move on to the other Group 1, the Surround Stakes, 1,400 metres for 3-year-old fillies. The Coolmore horse, Learning to Fly, looked to come back in pretty good order. I think it was second. Yeah, was it? Yes, second and first up. Tis Invincible was sort of wide throughout from memory. Is there any? What were you? Oh, that was. I don't want to bring back the bad. Wasn't it? Year-old.
Yeah. Kamachi got up. Kamachi got up there, and I think Kamachi's every chance to run very well again. Can somebody tell me why Learning to Fly is favourite? Like she won an English race. She's just a little thing.
You've been on this for a while though, haven't you? With Learning to Fly.
I've been saying that she's not that good. I remember I backed Facile against her. She beat Facile by like a nose, half a head. And Facile seems to be a length or two or three off the top ones here. Why is she favourite? Someone please enlighten me. What the figures?
$6.50 SP versus Shinzo is a pretty strong reference for anything, and that's what the
Hashtag not
SP profile.
Not that good.
I think that it's probably D-Day for her. Read the market. She couldn't have done much. She was the 5th best last 200 of the day, the 3rd best last 400 of the day, first up returning. I don't think you'd want to lay her.
She looked like she had every possible to me that day. At the 200 when she went past me, I thought she was going to win. You would have taken $1.20. I think Kamachi's sort of, somehow pulled it out and beaten her. Anyway, look, I'm pouring cold water on her. She can win, but I'm just saying she should be equal favourite, not outright favourite. To me, there should be 3 equal favourites. I'm dropping off Tis Invincible, who last time these horses met, I said should be favourite. I don't know what to make of her run the other day. 3 wide was not a disaster. We saw Cabalas bolt in, being 3 wide all the way. So yeah, I don't know what to make with Tis Invincible. The other one I think it should be equal favourite is Macarena. She's my pick in the race. She's a beast. I think she'll step up to 1,400 really suits her. The wide gate, I can't see a huge amount of speed in this race. You've got the 2,000 metre horse, Tropical Squall, Tropical whatever it is, the Guri horse that's going to lead. That's a 2,000 metre horse. So she's got Tim Clark. She can get I think she'll go, if you ping to the gate, should find a nice spot. If she finds cover, I think she wins Macarena. I think she's the best of them, and the $9 price is delicious.
Well, this is your wheelhouse, Scurry. 3-year-old fillies, Group 1. We've got 4 first up horses. We've got another majority of the field second up.
Yeah. Look, I've I haven't won this race since I think Nikita Jane got up one year for me. It's been a while back. She should have beaten the Autumn Slug in the Guineas. Anyway, and then I think we had a decent crack at Elise in this race when Cheryl was beat.
Remember that horse?
Yeah, Elise. Yeah, well, Elise turned out to be a proper mare.
Remember when she loomed up to win the inaugural All-Star Mile? Like she was just going to kill him?
Yeah, I think
Dewey
she
Bowman
was.
Road, I think.
Yeah, she did. Sprinter Miler. I think Mystic Journey might have won that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's Sprinter Miler. Mare's great. One of my favorite moments on track was her winning the champions when she beat Prompt Response. The last day when they took her out early onto the track. She was a edgy parader. Beautiful. But look, I think this is I think it's a good bet, and it will be my tip for the best of the day. And if we can lock in $9, I'm happy with that.
Wow. Okay.
Well, what's wrong with the form? Why won't Cabalas win in Melbourne?
Whoa. Calm down.
The Portelli horse that she, my what's it called, that ran second last week, ran very, very well. Was in that Cabalas race. She split them. That was in the Hobartville. Somebody help me out with the name of that thing, which we were on last week.
Can't hear you there, Pete. Or can anyone hear Pete, or is it just me?
No, I can't hear Pete.
I can't hear Pete. What was the name? What was the name of the horse we were on last week in the Portelli colours, in the Hobartville? All right.
Yeah.
And it starts.
Sorry, it's NCAP. So the microphone's died on me. So anyway, we'll plan.
Yeah.
B.
Well, I'm thinking that NCAP form. I think that Cabalas form is better form than the 3-year-old fillies form. That's my read. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I didn't mind the look at Tropical Squall, prized icon. As you said, it'll get a pretty soft lead. It was in and around these last time, wasn't it? 14 fresh should be all right.
Yeah,
it's
for
an
sure.
interesting race, eh?
But I don't think how Tropical Squall is no faster than Macarena. Macarena's stepping up from 1200. She's first up.
Yeah, but they are completely airborne. 16k Wheeling, Tropical Squall was.
Not many prized icons.
Oh man,
they go good.
Saw Glenn at the races yesterday. Actually, he rode prized icon to win the Derby, if we all recall. The Guru colours.
I was on.
James trained that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Nostalgia.
All right, should we move to Flemington, or anyone want to talk to me about these horses and why Macarena's not a good bet at $9?
No, absolutely not. Waiting for your yard report.
Yeah, you're making sense today. I'm a bit worried about it.
All right, we'll move on to Flemington then. First race, we'll have a look at race 8, the Group 1 Australian Guineas. Riff Rockets come up the short favourite off the back of its very impressive first up win. Chris Waller. Jack, is it a fair price there at about $250?
Absolutely not. And I think you should be looking to get right around him. King Colorado started almost half the price it did. So did Tago last start. Verdad started the same price. Hey Fat Cat was near it. Even Run Harry Run started $10. So Riff Rocket started $7 last start. It touched 10s and 11s, I reckon. In betting, it was back late. But I expect a significant overreaction to that absolutely dominant win last start. Very, very beautiful work. Shout out to Deb. What a winner. What a winner's win. And this horse won again. Barrier 9, I think it's okay for Craig. Craig's riding well. I think this map's really, really messy. Like if you own King Colorado, what are we doing? We're taking our medicine again and leaving it in the lap of the gods, or are we going to roll a dice one day? Don't know. They're drawing 12. They've got to think. The Pendragon, I think, would go forward from 14, but I don't have a good read on that horse, so I'm not overly confident. Sunset's first up, same sort of story. Should go forward, but might not first up. Quintessa's, I think, probably lands in front of Riff Rocket in run from what I've seen. But I just think there's a bunch of them inside that just have a big advantage map-wise, regardless of how the track races. I doubt the rail will be off. It's there's a bit of rain yesterday. It's the best track in Australia. It is by a country mile. And V8, Otago, Verdad, Hayfat, Cat, Snow Patrol, even Cap Ferret and Southport Tycoon are all drawn inside, all have a reasonable amount of speed to utilise the good gates, which just makes it a tricky setup for these Quintessas, the Sunsets, the King Colorados, the Riff Rockets, and the rest of them. Yeah, I think you want to wait to bet in this race until you've seen how the track races. If there is a bit of a pattern, you could hone in on it. But, geez, it's a busy map, Peter.
Yeah, that's exactly the word I was going to use. It's a busy race. There's heaps going on, isn't there? I guess, as you said, like Riff Rocket, right favourite, but I know he's returned with, on your punting form data, it's his clear best figure first up. Like, he's returned in very good order, not too far off his PB. But it still doesn't quite feel right just jumping into around 250, 260 in a race where there's heaps of X factor. There's heaps of horses here that can improve out of sight. So, yeah. I didn't really have a firm opinion, basically.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is I'd be keen to back King Colorado to beat Riff Rocket if they were running on. And it was a disadvantage to be rails in run, but that's very unlikely. But I just think King Colorado's got to tag Riff Rocket and be a little bit closer. And I don't think it's a more likely winner of the race at all. I just think at the prices versus what they started last start. Like, what are we dealing with here? So Riff Rocket was the 8th best last 400 of the meeting. King Colorado was the 12th. It's not a significant margin there. What'd you make of Zip Away? It can't win now with that map, I thought.
I mean, he's got versatility. Like, he doesn't have to just go back. He can actually roll forward, especially if the track's looking like it's playing on pace. In fact, if it is, I would imagine Steve is going to be one of the jocks that's more awake to that than some of the locals even.
Yeah, because he sat third in the Drummond Golf. I don't know what it's called.
The Northerly.
Well, on the punting form it says Drummond Golf. Wouldn't mind going there. Behind Don to shoot, and he was drawn 14, and he settled third. So yeah, I think there'll be one or two of them, which he might be the one or the two that do roll the dice here, but they could end up being planted properly.
I thought at the price he's bursting for a mile based on what he did there just off the freshen. Like, his best work was actually after the line. You can see that in the replays, and there was a very slow tempo. He was never winning from where he was in runs. So I think if you like Zip Away, which I've got time for him. Obviously, the sire ran third, I think, in this race from memory, playing God. I thought at odds you could do worse in the field than having a ping each way at him.
Zaki in that race as well, the Drummond Golf.
Yeah.
I mean, Drummond Golf Group 1 in Perth.
I know he's not at his best Zaki anymore, but it looks pretty good.
I think this potentially at the 800 will look like a sort of Zaki Group 1. Like the Mackay Divas and that, where they are four, like they're in a line of four, and there's like 4 lines of 4.
Yeah,
I
think that's the race shape we'll see here.
Does that V8 form not read extremely well? What's he, about $8? He's not far at all. Brightside's done it again. Who else was in behind Pericles? That runs second at Brightside, unless I'm getting mixed up. Yep, that was behind it by a fair way. Comes back to 3-year-olds. Races well at Flemington.
Strikes me as a horse that might struggle to get a solid run mile V8.
He's had that one start previously, and he was second to Griff.
That was where Griff was ran about, wasn't it?
Yeah. There was the protest there on that occasion, wasn't there?
No, there wasn't. There wasn't.
That should have been a protest. Could have been a protest. Or am I getting that race wrong?
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think that is that one.
On that occasion, and I thought this last start as well, he seemed like he was in the perfect spot and run, sort of went to win, and just popped in the last 200. I don't know. For me, he looks like a horse that would be really well suited dropping back to 1200.
Oh, I kind of lean more to you, John. I think $10 would make me think about a lot of things here. I thought Verdad's a big fat price. Like if the market says no to it and you're sort of looking at 31s, 41s, Betfair late, I'm going to be all over it. I love Verdad as a horse.
He is possibly not a miler V8, but I mean, you can sometimes get away with it against your own age right at 3.
The other thing too, though, if he's going to get away with it, it'll be this race shape, like this map. He's going to get a PR sort of run here.
The Kiwis Pendragon drawn out 14. I'd say it will roll forward. I would have thought it's always. I mean, its best runs have been when it's gone forward. It ran second last start to Orchestral, who will be coming over your way at some point, Rob. What's his name? Roger James thinks Orchestral's better than Silent Achiever, or as good as Silent Achiever. So pretty big raps on that filly. So,
wow, calm down, Robbie.
She's $1.40 in our derby this weekend. So very strong form. And Quintessa, they've battled a couple of times and been relatively close. So there wouldn't be much between them. But yeah, both come out of the as good a New Zealand form as you'll get. All right, should we move on from the Guineas?
Yeah, didn't really offer a lot there. Apologies, but that's what race it is.
All right, we'll move on to race 9, the Blamey Stakes Group 2 mile. Do we have any initial thoughts here, Jack?
I think a slightly softer or easier map. I think Cesuro will go forward from a wide draw. Aral lobs somewhere near the lead from 5. Holy Manson Ayrton get lovely runs. Berkeley Square probably get the softest run it's ever seen. Future History's obviously got a profile going forward, but first up off a cup, I think it probably works in midfield. Muramasa, riddle me that, maybe roll the dice a little bit. It'll have a lot to do with how the previous race has gone over the same trip. Carini probably in that basket. I don't think it goes forward, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Atishu's in here, but I think it's also in the race we just looked at in Sydney.
It is,
I kind of hope it goes to Sydney, so I don't want to be with it here, but I'm scared shitless of that horse, particularly at Flemington. And there's a horse here, Panfield, that interests me a little bit. And then there's obviously Macram, who won last start at like 300 to 1. So you do you.
The Panfield, that Chinese bred.
Yeah, it's been racing in Hong Kong, probably a 2,000 metre sort of range is probably its pet distance. But like Waller first up, there's no official trial here. Has won over the mile before in Sha Tin, settling midfield. That was a slow tempo. I'd be looking for a yard push or any sort of jump out push from our guys, but yeah, probably gets every opportunity sitting midfield. I think Panfield's best figures go. I'm struggling. I thought its best figures go, or they're competitive anyway, in what looks a pretty open field. Otherwise, like there's a few of these, that just have a few knocks on them, especially if the tissue comes out, all of a sudden the market opens up a bit more and you're left with what Ayrton is favourite. I look at Ayrton, I think, I kind of want to be taking you on, especially from gate 1. That's the way I'm looking at this. This is a race I want to bet into, and at this stage, I'm leaning towards Panfield each way, especially if I can get a yard read on him and he looks ready to go first up.
Yeah. I did think Ayrton was a strange favourite as well. They look like they've kind of got him back near somewhat of his best.
Is he just a fresh horse? Fresh and likes Caulfield and all that sort of stuff. Like he's had 3 goes at Flemington, 1 placing. He would have been beaten favourite, I'm guessing, the other 2 times. And yeah, he's a horse that you really have to trust a fair bit. And look, he turned up in great nick in Ascot, and there was sort of like whispers around that he hadn't been training or working that well in the lead up to the Gold Rush. And yeah, he failed on that occasion. He was 3 wide, no cover, but he still stopped in the straight. So yeah, I don't know. Ayrton just looks like a real chinky favourite here.
You're getting a bit of a different price, Macram, this week.
Yeah.
Surely not. I mean, surely.
I also wouldn't mind backing if it pisses with rain. It's not gonna though. He's Captain Envious. I think that's solid form it brings, and it's got this chinky 82 days between runs. Couldn't find a trial, but it's Pushka.
Yeah. It's not quite enough time off that you'd be concerned. It's like enough time off that if they've sort of kept it up, and it could have some pretty good residual fitness.
Yeah, man, Lindsay might be with Barclay Square again.
He'd be cheering for it.
Yeah.
And then whinging if it wins and whinging if it loses. That's what these horses do to us over time.
I think it's a Billie Holiday or Ellis Fitzgerald song, The Nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. There you go.
Future history, that's reasonably in the market. I thought was probably short enough. It wasn't winning a benchmark 78 over a mile first up last prep. Be struggling to win here over a mile, wouldn't
it? Yeah, but I kind of feel I think the same way Peter feels from what he's saying. Not a lot would surprise me here.
I guess the one we haven't mentioned is Carini. I guess
it's ready to win, Peter. It's just it's like 850. They've sort of taken the fun out of it.
A winner's a winner, right? It did win second up last prep this track.
But it only beat that bloody Sabark.
Yeah, God bless it when it did though. I remember that.
Yeah. I could see the market coming for it. I'll put it that way.
All right. Perfect. So a couple of tricky races there at Flemington.
Borderline, field leg for quaddie players, that one. Future history, stayer with ability.
Stayer resuming.
Yeah. 1600. Tissue's clearly the class horse of this race. And if it runs, I'd say, should be favourite.
Pending how the track's racing.
Yep, true that.
All right, cool. Should we get into some best bets?
Yeah.
Probably won't be from the races we've discussed unless you're backing Macarena.
Yeah. Was that what you
were? He is backing it. I read this man like a book. The pages aren't in alignment. It doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes sort of 4, 7, 2, and then 6. But he's going to have that as his best bet this week. Rob?
Sorry. My best bet is race 8, number 8, for the Chinese punters, Macarena. $9.
Each way or straight out?
Straight out. Okay. Timmy Clark, roll forward. If it finds a spot, any cover, close enough, it should be too good. Looks like it's a beast of the filly.
Pete?
Race 7 at Flemington, number 8, Estrella.
Oh,
I thought this was like a pretty sharp win first up. Fast tempo, right part of the track, all those things considered. I thought the horse looked like, she had a fair bit to come, but 3-year-old, look, I think in terms of the map, it should be pretty good for Blake Shin. He doesn't have to sort of get into a position where he's fighting for a bit of space early. I only had the one run previously down the straight, and I note on that occasion there was money for her, but it was one of those days where there was a pretty strong headwind and she was exposed quite early. So just putting a line through that, tipped out for a spell afterwards. that's why I'm leaning in that race. I think the price is pretty good as well. I suspect it's going to be firmer late on the day. That is up against Caballos, Rob. So
There's a lot of nice horses in that race.
yeah, it's
You
a good
had a
race.
pretty high opinion of Australia, however you pronounce it, early, didn't you, Rob?
Oh, I remember, I remember Caballos and Estrella, whatever it is, went toe-to-toe to the line at Randwick one day as an early 2-year-old race, and I thought Caballos was going to be a star in that spring before he went off. Maybe one of the few wrong moves Debbie's made selling that horse. I'm not sure what it went for on English Digital, but it's when the other day, Pete, 3 wide, exploded away from him. That's proper Sydney form. Here it comes to a bloody sales race. Jack, barrier 15, positive or negative down straight? I think it's positive.
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Usually, well, not usually, but often the outside fence is a help, a bit like Pinjarra, Pete.
It's not really a disadvantage.
It's just going to be whereabouts Josh Park can get the horse in run. Like, obviously, I would expect him to try and be positive and just ghost across and get a bit of cover. There's a few horses here that won't mind going forward and trying to dictate, but often you think that in the straight races and end up going benchmark for first 500 metres and sit there. So
sounds like Rob might be having the same form all up, Pistol.
Yeah.
Bit of Macarena into the old Caballos.
Well, it's a good test, isn't it? You know, Sydney form versus Victorian form, and you've got claims either way.
And you've also got the Mumbai Muse, who I think something happened to it last start. It pissed in down the straight here in the Cup Carnival, down the outside with Tommy Berry's. You know, she's kept that one, Debbie. So look out. Sol Caballos, she's kept Mumbai Muse. If that goes to anywhere near its best, it's surely in the race. But whether it, you know, who knows what happened to it last start, where it's at.
All right. Pete, so you were Australia?
Yeah.
In the same way, Caballos, yeah.
I'll lock in the $4 or so available.
$4 I'm giving you, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Jack, you got something for us?
I don't really. I was going to go Peace Treaty in race 5, but it's D-lane off inside draw Luke Curry. I need time to think on that and digest that. Do
you want me to go to mine?
No. Flemington race 7. 25 to win, 75 to place at SP. Number 18. Frawley.
Okay. Frawley.
Amy.
All right. Any reason you want to tell our viewers, or you?
Just like those silks.
Okay. Beautiful.
Nah. I like the win. I think it's going to get a peach of a run. Suits Jamie Carr. Right sort of price to have a guess at a big price, you know. Who knows?
All right. Cool. I'll go to Ellerslie, race 7. Number 12, it's a Group 3, and this number 12 just had the one start for one win. It was very green, but thought it did it sort of look like it be a good horse in the future, and I think gets its chance to pick up a bit of black type pretty early in its career. It's I'm Invincible out of Shillelagh, who won, I think, a couple of Group 1s in Melbourne.
Yeah, did.
In the same.
Waller have that?
Say that again.
Is that a Waller horse?
Shillelagh, I think was, yeah. Same silks as this horse, green with the yellow sleeves. J-Mac up the rail, I think, in like an Empire Rose or a.
Yep.
Something like that. But anyway, won very well on debut. Think it can make the step up to Group Company. $9. So no doubt it'll run second. But yeah, perfect. Is that everything? Anyone got anything else to add?
I'll articulate. I love the barrier draw. I love the map for Frawley. Jamie Carr suits had a nice little tick over in between runs. I But I don't think necessarily the right horse always wins this race because it's so fucking busy and there's so much chaos. And this horse will just, if it's good enough, it'll run well. And I think it might be. It's still a colt. It beat a horse at Geelong, our Cougar. Our Cougar's run around in like pretty good, it's like sort of 1,600 metre plus races in Victoria recently on Saturday. So I think the form's favourite to be okay, not significantly favourite though, and at the price, I'm happy.
All right, perfect.
Mailbag Bloodstock, what's happening?
Yeah, we had our boy Keats, our first dead heat for Mailbag Bloodstock yesterday. Keats, he shared the prize down there, Launceston. So he ticked over 500,000 in prize money yesterday since we purchased him. $25,000 purchase.
Why the fuck have you bought that thing?
Very, very nice return.
25,000 we got him for, guys.
Yeah.
He'll be the number one ticket holder of Mailbag Bloodstock. We love him, and I can't see him getting unseated in the near future. I hope one day he does, but not at this stage. Tuesday did a full day of inspections out at Melbourne with Butch Bourne, and he's done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He's doing today, and I'm going back out tomorrow to look at a short list. So who knows, guys? Might be able to swing by the greeny, leafy South Yarra area with the new wheels and pick up Sneaky Pete, take him out there. I don't know. We live in hope. Not a lot of hope, but we live in some hope. I'm happy to drop you on the way home at the Valley, Legends Bar, or at Ross's Joint, really sort of wind back the clock there. I'll obviously have to get home for school pickup, but back out there tomorrow. That sale starts Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday. Every intention to put a hand up, and if we're lucky enough, we'll pick up a couple. And then the next sale for us will be Adelaide, I believe. We tried at a couple, but I thought they brought way too much yesterday on the English Digital. Still doing the work there, but at the moment, I think the yes cult, John, is essentially just about sold out. There might be one share left with Gay and Adrian.
Yep.
At the breakers right now. Really nice horse. Really keen to see how he goes. Happy as hell that we've given it to Adrian and Gay. The Churchill's about just over half done now, so we've started to push it. It's been at the breakers for probably over half its time that it'll be there. Every report so far has been really, really positive. Butch himself stuck in that horse for 20%. That's how much he rates that horse. So it's probably less than half to go, actually. But yeah, not a lot left in it either. And the two tried horses, I think they're done, basically. There might be one share left in order to charge with Mitch Beard, the cheapest horse we'll ever buy, probably. If you want to get involved. And just because they're cheap doesn't mean they can't win money. I mean, base the jury, I paid $6,000 or $8,000 for her. We've just ticked over 110,000 with her last week. So, and is there much left in Cruise Missile, John? The Zavabil, the gorgeous horse. Rob will big fan. I'm tipping. It's just finished its spell.
Started pre-training on Monday. They both did. Cruise Missile in order to charge.
Yeah, so they are both going to pre-train down here at Avica Park with Caroline Price, who's done a phenomenal job with a stack of our horses. She does everything with Lazy Susan until Gav gallops and finds races and things like that. She's done a great job with Just Folk, Keats, a number of them. So yeah, they're both starting pre-training now. The reports are really, really positive. You'd expect that though, Rob, with that Zavabil. I mean, cracking type.
Cracking type. Looks like a stayer to me. Every just walks really, really well. I remember I sucked into it with Annabelle one day and didn't do any good. But looks like a Wednesday, Saturday horse to me every day of the week.
Beautifully rated. We can sort of pick our way through it.
Yeah, won a listed race back in New Zealand.
Shades of Keats about it, who won a listed race in Ireland.
Exactly.
Bought for too cheap.
And back to benchmark 64, maybe a benchmark 64 at sale, just to
almost
stock sale.
Look, I know Gav a little bit. Yeah, he likes to work. He'd be the only bloke who loves sale more than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm feeling a Sunday sale 64 probably a mile kickoff point for Cruise Missile.
All right. Perfect. Thanks for joining us.
Jono, Jono at the mailbag.com.au. Jono at the mailbag.com.au if you want to find out anything about the horses available or the processes we're going through at these yearling sales. Jono will be the quickest man in Australia or New Zealand to get back to you. But don't forget, the grouse is still the grouse are back. They're racing Melbourne, Sydney, and they're always racing in Perth. If you want accountable betting advice, the mailbag.com.au. They whisper to Scurry, has he got music on in those headphones or has he not? We don't know. What's in that pen? We don't know. But whatever it is, it works. They're going to whisper to him on Saturday. He'll pass on sort of what they're saying in regard to betting to you via the app, the mailbag.com.au. And you've got to finish the night off in Perth. I love it. It's my favourite thing to do. What are we dealing with this weekend, Peter? Just the usual 9 or is it 15 races? What do we got?
Now we got 9. The 3-year-old en route to Derby lead-up races are on. So, yeah.
Nice.
That's what we're dealing with. There'll be enough bets there. It's a decent card.
There you go, punters. That's it. That's us. Guys, I hope you have a phenomenal weekend. I hope if you have a bet, you win. Gamble responsibly. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential advice, call the number or visit the website. Chances are, if you buy our betting advice long-term, you will win. Have a phenomenal weekend and bye for now.